What does it really mean that our body is communicating about intimacy beyond just hygiene, spiritual hygiene, but what is our body really communicating when it comes to our sexual intimacy? We all see and we're taught about, good touch and bad touch. So I have been taught, I mean, not a lot of people are taught. You'd be surprised to know that they're not even taught good touch or bad touch. And often when things happen, women are the ones that are shamed. It's like the oldest story of all times. But apart from knowing good touch and bad touch, when you learn that you may be in an emotional connection with someone, or your attachment might be towards a person, specifically we're talking about a woman and a man over here. So we're trying to understand, okay, my mind understands the concept of consent, but what the apart from the intellectual aspect of consent, what is my body really saying? Do I really feel that I want to indulge sexually with this person? How do you differentiate your body's understanding of feeling safe? Because for a woman it's very different. For a woman, sex is very different than it is probably for a man. I wouldn't say 100% because I am not a man, first of all, and second of all, I can say that because of just general observation that it has been very different for women. Women actually allow themselves, the key word is that they allow themselves to have pleasure when they feel emotionally contained and they feel that the person cares for them. There are some cases where people are traumatized. They're persistently acting out of trauma and a need of validation or perhaps even obligation to a man's sexual needs, feeling like they have to do it for XYZ reason. Like, I'm married and I don't want him to cheat, or I'd be a bad wife if I can't take care of his sexual needs, or I'm tired, but you know what, or I just gave birth to a child, or I'm going through something rough and I have to stay prim and proper because I don't want him to step out of the relationship. Or, he's been saying, please, 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 can I do that? Can we see that? Okay, I really want to do it, or I feel like this right now. It's in ways in which you feel some sort of submission that comes along to feeling entitled to a woman's body. I think I find it quite funny when women are coined, or just they're termed as gold diggers, when the comparison has always been looking at a woman. If she's pretty, then I'll marry her, I'll take care of her, but feeling almost as if offended if women have the same level of criteria for the ways in which they want to be looked after. It is so given. There's multiple case studies, there's just natural observation you're going to have that men are very physical based. There's this show that I've seen multiple times on Instagram. I don't remember what it is, where they blindfold men and there's two women sitting around, and the guy is asked to pick which one does he like, the personality and then appearance wise. And I saw a couple of videos where they change their answer when they look at the woman, whether they find them attractive or not. It's like they would rather choose someone that they initially feel more physically attractive to than the one they feel more compatible with, because they are feeding off the eyes. And whereas the woman, I'd see that women tend to lean more towards growing into and falling into love when they feel for that person, not when they see, when they feel more. So sometimes it's not always the case, but sometimes women can also be deceived by looks. Like, I am talking to a really attractive person and I'm still figuring out whether I feel compatible with this person or not. Sometimes we end up putting ourselves in situations where we don't understand what the hell happened. Like, now I feel used, or I gave into this and I wanted to do it. But the discernment part before giving your body as a woman to a man depends on checking with yourself if it's illusion, if it's validation, if you're doing it to keep him around, if you're doing it because he feels more sexually aroused by you, he feels like he's wanting to have you. Not always every person is doing it just because they want you physically, but because they're just acting on their pleasures. Like, there's a difference between a person that's like just going at it, manipulating you, love bombing you because they want to use you. And then later on, when the relationship started asking more of them, more commitment, more assurity, more hard work, then you realize, okay, well, that's the phase where you realize, okay, is this gonna move forward or not? And usually it's a make it or break it. Like, there's no other way to place it. If it breaks, if it falls apart, you end up feeling betrayed because you're like, why did I do that? Unless and until you really enjoy it, because I'm not always going to say that women feel bad for also acting upon their desires. But if you're doing it for an ulterior motive, then it really hurts. It sends a message to your body that I didn't feel respected, I didn't feel appreciated. And something that a lot of young girls go through, because I don't know what's it like for these women, young women, to be growing up with the help of social media. It really depends on the type of information you're consuming, because the hookup culture is absolutely ridiculously glorified right now through the social media. But there's also the good side of it. I just have my questions if young people or teenagers are actually that inclusive of, the emotional intelligence side of social media. It can again be a hit or miss, two sides of a coin. But I feel that young women, often because hormones are a very big thing, and I'm saying that the compulsion that they sometimes feel to impress a boy is not very different than what women sometimes feel like to have a good man by their side. A lot of times women fall for the illusion of giving into what they, and this can sound very Christian, like you should wait and like Bible like, and you should not do that right now. But there is some truth to it. It's not about complete purity and chastity, and not that orthodox way in which it's painted as a sin, because sin has a lot of weight, and that's not what I'm talking about. It ends up giving you a lot of shame. I'm talking about an intelligent way of communicating with your body and understanding what your sense of security is communicating about this man. It's like when you get involved with a person too quick before you know that they have the capacity and the right intentions. A person can also have right intentions, but not the capacity, that can end up making you feel somewhere betrayed by your own body. And what ends up happening is that there is one other thing that I would like to mention before I jump to what I was trying to say, is that a lot of people have very, very, a lot of women have very, very shitty experiences of molestation, catcalling, even sexual abuse, or being noticed in a way that makes them feel so uncomfortable. They start hiding themselves. And that is a real thing, because a woman absolutely cannot claim her sexuality, everything that's related with the uterus, the womb area, your menstrual cycle, taking too many birth pills, or basically taking the bullet for things that you may not realize that are just a compensation compromise to have a man around. It's like, instead of using protection or not wanting to do that and not asking the guy to take some load off it or change, your view around whatever you are doing, it's the ways in which you end up harming your body so much, especially like birth control disables your ovulation cycle, and when that happens, it does dim your ability to connect with your sexuality. You're constantly on birth control pills, and then you have irregular periods. You do not have a good connection with your body. Anything, tell me anything that you're going to take pharmaceutically for your body. I can understand the technological and the scientific upgrade that medicines have, but taking all of these things that harm your body, they naturally slow it down, or they do something that's quote unquote unnatural. So way in which you're directing it to something artificial hinders your ability to naturally connect with your body. See, you're doing something for your uterus or your menstrual cycle because you don't want to get pregnant, and that is harming your ability to connect with your womb space. And obviously, when your partner is at the same adrenaline or sexual desire or that level that they always have been, and then you're coming on birth controls to keep that going, your libido has been suppressed. So how you're really enjoying it your whole life? And that's why I wanted to really share this, because it's not just about sex education and protection. It's more about what goes on in a woman's body, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, when you're having intercourse with a man. It's not just inclusive of the precautions you're meant to take. It's about the libido. It's about how you really feel. It's about how well do you feel supported by the person. If if you, for instance, got in bed with a person before you got to know them, I don't know, maybe it's in one night stand, or it's an acquaintance, or it's a friend that you knew before and then you turn into lovers, whatever it is, you got into bed, you're gonna naturally see what that man is about. If he is not able to meet you halfway, if he doesn't care about what you need, if he may be misogynistic, you'd be surprised to know how many men don't actually think about what women really want. And that shows so clearly in the bedroom with the way in which he's going to treat you, not just before, not just after, during it. You're going to get to know what type of behavior you're going to get after it. Because if that person is listening, if that person is communicating even during the act of it, if that person is listening, if that person's attentive, if that person's wanting to know what can I do to pleasure this woman because I respect her, I like her, I don't just find her beautiful in the moment because my body is full of hormones, I'm getting a very animalistic I'm getting a very animalistic feeling towards her, I'm in the act or something, my natural hormones are getting on. What is that person really telling you about their personality is how they're going to treat you in a relationship. Vice versa, if you're dating an emotionally unavailable man, uh I would bet 99.9 times you are not satisfied sexually, because how are you going to be satisfied if he can't communicate, if he can't message you, if he can't look after you, if he can't ask you what you need, if it's all about him, if it's all about what he wants and he desires, then how is that person going to take care of you in the bedroom?